Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Behind the Mic here in our MusicTown studios on the second floor of Hockeytown in downtown Detroit. And I have another guest in here. Of course, that's what I do every week. Have a guest in here. I don't think I can do this by myself, right? Welcome to Jeremy Jibs Brown.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, do you go by Jeremy or Jibs, or what's the story here?
That's a good question to start off with. So Jibs is my nickname.
And how did you get your nickname? Let's stop there. This is going to be good.
Well, the real story is just probably about 8-9 years ago. Me and my buddies were riding around in the car, and we used to freestyle rap.
Okay.
Yeah, just for fun. I had just kind of talk about each other and make jokes. And one of my buddies, Chris, I don't know if it was an accident or if he meant to do it, said Jibs. Was gonna say JB and maybe just blurted it out, Jibs. And I said, no, I kind of like that nickname.
Okay.
And it stuck ever since. So I still don't really introduce myself as Jibs. It feels kind of weird to introduce myself as Jibs, but I guess enough people call me Jibs more than, well, I guess my mom still calls me Jeremy.
Okay.
So
well, of course.
Yeah.
Mom always calls the real name.
But 50-50 introduce myself, Jibs and Jeremy.
Well, and I know you do a lot of, like all your social media and stuff. I mean, you've added the Jibs. Isn't that part of your domain name too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So jibsbrown.com is the website. For music, it's all Jibs.
Okay.
So that's 100% Jibs on the music.
You should come up with an acronym what the JIBS would stand for.
I've thought of that, and there's not a lot of good solutions for the JIB as acronyms that I've found just yet. But
okay.
Who knows?
Yeah, not a lot of words with J. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be something to think about. It'd be fun to come up with something that would relate to the music. And you've been doing this music for, let me back up. You've been doing it professionally not that long, it seems like.
No, just been playing music in some form for a long time, since my late teens, but started doing this acoustic stuff and doing more serious songwriting. It's been about 10 years now.
Yeah. Okay.
And really start performing more out solo about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
So it's been time is flying, but it hasn't been.
Well, that's what I said. Not that long, really. 10 years, in a musician's life is really not that long.
Sure.
Sure. When you think about big acts like the Stones who've been doing it for decades and decades.
Definitely. Got a little ways to go before I get to that level.
But to say, 10 years already under your belt, pretty good. And you just mentioned, work playing out and everything. You seem to be popping up everywhere, a lot of different places. So you get out there.
Yeah, well, try. Try to stay busy and I just like playing music. So I always tell people if I wasn't playing at this restaurant or venue, I'd be playing at home. So
okay,
it'd be might as well play in front of people and.
And you like playing in front of people.
I do.
And that started at a very early age, from what I understand.
Yep.
Like 3.
Yeah. I've my older cousins like to set me up in front of them and sing songs for them. When I was toddler age, and there's no video evidence of this. So
oh darn,
I'm just going by their word. But since at a very young age, I was always interested in music and liked it, and just didn't play instruments and didn't really do much besides just for fun with family for a long time. So.
Just mostly the singing part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So did you end up taking there had to be a point. That's a very young age. We're just kind of playing around with family and singing.
Sure.
At 3 or 4, whatever age it was, it's like, how much do you know? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, kind of things.
Yeah.
But when do you remember when there was an actual point where you're like, I should learn some instruments. I could do this for a living. And was there something that just clicked?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I went through a couple different phases. I always liked guitar, and I always wanted to learn guitar, but you have to get over a little bit of a hump to learn the basics, and I never had the fortitude to get over that little hump to learn the basics. So I talked my dad into buying me an electric guitar when I was 17 or 18,
Okay.
and brought it home and played it that night. Tried to play it that night with no, for having picked up a guitar for the first time with that guitar. We went to Gibraltar Trade Center and bought an electric guitar, and I sat in my room and just strumming the strings. It wasn't magically working, so I sat in the corner of my room, and it stayed there for about 5 years and
Oh, wow.
didn't touch it. And until I gave it away to a friend of mine. It's probably sitting in the corner of his bedroom right now. But a couple years later, I got the itch again and bought an acoustic guitar. And this time, I decided I'm going to learn a few songs.
Okay.
That was a different stage of my life, and I wanted to learn. I said I'm going to go to an open mic and play a couple songs. That was my goal. And so I had some downtime, and I was single. I was living here in Detroit, and I started practicing every night and learned a few songs, and went to my first open mic in Eastern Market.
Oh, okay.
And there was, I think, 3 people in the bar, not including the bartender. And fumbled my way through a couple songs, but I was, from then I was hooked. And the other part of the story is that my family, my dad had a karaoke business.
Oh.
So, from my late teens to late 20s, I was hosting karaoke and spending a lot of time in karaoke places, and really got hooked on performing, singing, and also really got introduced to a lot of different genres and different types of music, and that helped, get me broaden my horizons when it came to types of music.
Okay. Yeah, because you started out mostly geared towards, or liking a lot, getting influenced with the hip hop and R&B, and that was what you started out listening
Sure.
to and liking a lot of. So I was going to ask you about that, because you mentioned that you cover so many different genres, and I thought, well, how did you get to know all those things, to like all those things, and get influenced? So there's the answer there.
Yeah,
It's karaoke. That's a great way.
People say make fun of karaoke, but I don't know if I'd be sitting here if it wasn't for karaoke.
And
I don't know,
you probably practiced a lot, because if someone doesn't sign up, I mean, I've never actually done
Sure,
karaoke,
yeah.
but I know the concept. You have to sign up on the sheet, and then they call you up or whatever. And
Sure.
if there's not a lot enough people, then you would have to fill in. Is that right?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I wasn't that type of host. I would just let the background music play until somebody signed up. But what we did do a lot as a family is when we had a family event or a barbecue or something, we'd break out the karaoke machine at our parents' house,
How
my
fun.
aunt's house, and what we would do, it wasn't it wasn't quite a game, and it wasn't quite laziness, but it was more just put the karaoke CD in and just go one by one on the songs. And if somebody knew it or kind of knew it, we'd try it. And if nobody knew it or nobody wanted to see it, we'd skip it. And so we had at that point maybe 20 CDs, karaoke CDs. And it got to the point where I knew virtually every song on those, CDs. And that really, there was everything from, everything from Hank Williams to Lionel Richie to Joan Jett. All the real popular karaoke songs were in those.
All the hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we all kind of learned. We all my sister can probably say the same thing. She probably knows all those songs too. But that's really how it started to grow. And then hearing other people sing songs, the same songs over and over again. you know, really helped with that too.
That's a great way to really get exposed to all the
Sure.
different genres and the artists and everything.
Oh yeah.
And you're literally working it, so you have no
Yeah.
choice.
Exactly.
As
Yeah.
opposed to going into a karaoke bar because
Yeah.
you're drinking and you're not really listening and everything,
Yeah.
but you're working. You've really got to focus.
Well, yeah, you,
Uh,
you do,
yeah.
and you can't leave the room no matter what the performer sounds like. So, yeah, that was a fun time.
I'm just curious. I mean, some people think they can sing karaoke, but it's a little tough because you gotta know the song,
You do have to know
and
the
then you're
song.
trying to read along. Which, but I mean, do you ever want to just get the hook and get someone off the stage?
No, we always thought, my kind of approach on that is karaoke is not about how you sound. It's just about having fun.
Oh, okay.
And there's some really talented vocalists that come to karaoke bars to perform and to do what they can't do anywhere else. And then there's some really not good vocalists that come to karaoke bars to do what they can't do anywhere else. So they're all trying to do the same thing.
That's funny.
And why should I be the nobody's paying to
Yeah.
to be there. So and to have someone sing their heart out and miss a few notes is just as entertaining to me as someone that could be on stage somewhere. People that would pay to see.
Interesting. Fun.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Fun stuff. All right. How about we hear a song?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So I was trying to think of a good song to start off with, and this one, this original song, one of the newer ones that I've written. It's called "For the Sake of Time," and so I try to write happy songs and sad songs. This one happens to be a little bit more of a sad song, but the idea behind it is, you're struggling with something, whatever it is, whether it be a relationship or an addiction or a job or something, and you just get to the point where you're like, it's not working. It's got stop it for the sake of time. That's what the hook is. So I start off with that one, and it's kind of new. We've played it a few times at shows, but this is first time it's been mass communicated.
Okay.
So, all right. Lord knows I'm ready. Too many years passed me by, forged in fetters, promises long expired. It's not fair to struggle. It's not fair to lie. Maybe I should cut my losses for the sake of time. This load is heavy. Time crush my bones. I'm bruised and battered from war for far too long. This road is daunting, knowing inside maybe I should cut my losses for the sake of time. Ooh. not fair to struggle. It's not fair to lie. Maybe I should cut my losses for the sake of time. For the sake of time. Oh, for the sake of time. For the sake of time.
Nice.
Thank you.
Jeremy Jibs Brown with us here on our MusicTown Behind the Mic. You mentioned we, so you do have a band that you play a lot with.
Yep.
The Jam Bros.
Jam Bros.
I can't believe no other band has ever used that name. That's such a great name for a
I
band.
thought so too. I Googled it, and tried a couple different spellings, and nothing.
Nothing.
So there's a company that makes like skateboard equipment out there called Jambro, I think, or something
Okay.
like that. But I don't skateboard, and at least I haven't tried since I was 10. It's a whole nother story for another time. But yeah, no other Jambros.
Okay. Yeah, great name.
Thanks.
So, so are you, when you are out touring or playing at a bar or something, a festival, you have the full band generally, or okay?
Generally, yeah, we're kind of like kind of fluid ensemble. We play at festivals to try to get everybody together, and that's everybody in the band is pretty busy in their own right with projects, with their own bands and stuff. So when we can get everybody together, it's a good thing. And there's 7 of us.
Oh wow!
Total, yeah. But when we play in bars, restaurants, it's usually three or four of us at any given time. But,
Okay.
I like to get the we're accepting applications for more members. Not sure which camera is on me, but
Probably this one more.
Yeah. So if you'd like to be a jam bro.
So what kind of instruments are you wanting to add?
We don't have a triangle player right now, so
A triangle player?
yeah, I'm just joking. But right now the whole concept behind the band is just to have fun on stage and to get if we're having fun, then the audience will have fun just by the proximity that they are to us, and
Yeah.
and the songs are part of it too. But really any addition to the band, I don't think is a bad thing.
Okay.
And we're not. It's not. I digress a little bit. I'm not actively looking to add to the band, but
okay.
yeah,
Your
right now.
bandmates who are watching going, what?
No, they get a kick out of it if there's more people on stage. I also like full stages. I think that's a cool thing, just to get a lot of people on stage. I just think it looks cool, and I think the vibe on stage becomes more festive when there's you're interacting with more people.
And you can feed off each other probably when you're playing, I would imagine. Yeah,
definitely,
definitely. Is there a difference when you're on stage as opposed to just you and your guitar and, on these all 7 on the stage? How's that with the crowd? How do you interact a little differently when you have more people?
It's a good question. I guess I never thought about that. I think when it's just me, my acoustic shows, a lot of times I mess up and keep going, or I change.
No one knows.
Yeah, I change what I change the song I'm playing halfway through, and just have fun with it that way.
Okay.
It's a little harder to do when there's multiple people playing the song. You can't just change the song and throw in a different chorus or something like that.
What do you think? You're the Grateful Dead or Sir Fish or something?
We do that occasionally. Throw in some cool medleys, but when I'm solo, there's definitely a little more of a just go with the flow vibe.
Okay.
Which is I think fun and exciting for people that are watching. Hopefully.
And you may do something that totally didn't expect yourself. Does that ever happen?
Sometimes. Now, I'm not. I don't want to make it sound like I'm an exceptional musician. I have to know the song first. Um, but if it's sometimes if I'm in the middle of a song and I notice that it's similar progression to another song, or I think of another song while I'm in the middle, I'll think of a way to sneak in that other.
So you do a
song.
mashup. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
you've got a mashup going that
Oh,
you
yeah.
weren't planning on, huh?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes,
Interesting.
and then once you do it once, then it's part of the deal. It's locked into you've created a new connection in your brain. Now you can't think of the song any other way.
Interesting. Do you like to do like mash up two songs into one? Is that a
Yeah.
norm? Okay.
Yeah, that goes back to the karaoke, and I used to DJ a little bit too. That goes back to that time in my life when you don't want any dead air.
Yeah, yeah.
So
We DJs understand that.
yeah. So
Yes.
that kind of mixing / mashup concept is something I really think is cool. So.
If you can, if you in a DJ that's different than myself on radio is different. Like if you're a DJ in a club of some sort, you have to segue so well
Oh, yeah.
that they don't realize there's a whole nother song.
Yep.
Because you know what that does? It just wears them out, and they're so thirsty that they buy more beers and drinks. And that's all. It's all planned.
Yeah, it is. And the feeling of a DJ is when you change a song and you watch people leave the dance floor. That's a pretty lonely feeling up there.
Yes.
When that happens. So, for all you DJs out there, I feel your pain when that happens. But keep your head up.
I used to own a company, Pam Jammer and Company, and we DJ'd weddings. And
Yeah.
you just flashed me back. It's like, oh, I remember that feeling. It's like,
Yeah.
don't go.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. How about we hear another song?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. So I'll play a song. I'll play a song called "To Toledo," and this song is because we just decided my family were going to head down to Florida this winter on in December. So maybe think of this song because this song is about leaving the cold weather, heading south. And I tell the story at every show, so it gets a little, boring. I'm sure for people that have heard it before, but that feeling when the weather's bad, it's snowing, it's been drizzly and gray for a week. It feels like, and you just gotta get out of town. And everybody in Michigan knows the feeling of driving down south.
Yes.
And you head down, I grew up in Ypsilanti, so we went through down 23. But when you live here in Detroit, everybody drives down 75 or 275.
Yep.
And you see you head down river and then Row and all that stuff, and you're still not too far away from home. But once you get to Toledo, there's no coming back. You're heading down south, wherever that south may be. So this song is about that, and it's a little more of a fun-loving song than the last one. So we'll try that one.
That open road is calling my name. I'm having dreams of that George Clay. These winter blues are bringing me down. There's nothing here to keep me round. I might be out of my mind. Yeah, I might be out of my mind. Ooh, but I need to feel that warm breeze by the sunrise. Yeah. You keep saying I won't go, but honey, I'm almost to Toledo. To Toledo. That Florida rain smells sweet in the air. Those Delta blues still weigh my cares. saying I won't go home, but honey, I'm almost to Toledo. To Toledo. Yeah, I might be out of my mind. Yeah, I might be out of my mind. Whoa, whoa, but I need to feel that warm breeze by the sunrise. Yeah. You keep saying I won't go home. You keep saying I won't go home, but honey, I'm almost to Toledo. To Toledo. To Toledo. To Toledo.
Nice. Jeremy Jibs Brown here with us on Behind the Mic at MusicTown. Now, you said, is this on one of your, I think you have 3 CDs out, 3 albums? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Okay.
I've one official EP.
Oh, okay.
That's not homemade for fun CD. So that one is on that Float This River EP. That it's been a couple years ago now, but 2 years ago that we released that one with 4 songs on. That's one of them.
Okay.
Track 3, I think.
I meant to ask you, is this your guitar that has a name?
No.
No? You
No,
named a guitar, didn't you?
I've tried to name guitars. I did name one guitar, my first guitar.
Okay.
Well, not my first guitar that I played out with consistently is named Winnie, and that's
Why?
So Winnie. This gets a little nerdy here for a second. So
Okay.
excuse the nerdiness, but the Wonder Years was one of my favorite shows growing up.
Great show.
Yeah, great show. And I was about the same age as Kevin Arnold in the show, and the girl he had a crush on was Winnie.
Winnie. Oh,
Winnie
okay.
Cooper, and it was kind of like his first love.
Yes.
And, they just went through school together, or whatever. So I got that guitar. I was like, well, this guitar is my first love guitar speaking. So I'm gonna name the guitar Winnie.
That's not nerdy. I think that's sweet.
Oh, well, there you go. Changes my
I love it.
perspective. Good.
When I was thinking Winnie, I'm thinking horse, but now that's a totally different story.
Different
That's
story
way better.
altogether. Yep, back to
Okay.
sitcoms, 90s sitcoms.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you kind of grew up on all that.
Oh yeah. That's that.
Do those things influence you with your songwriting? Like the TV shows or life experiences. What gets you going to really write a song? I mean, you explained that to Toledo. I mean, that makes sense. And everything, but
Yeah.
As far as all your songs.
I like songs. I guess life experiences to some degree, and then you take a little bit of creative license, and you might take one emotion and kind of extrapolate that emotion to this scenario that might be interesting. And for me, the songwriting process usually starts with a riff or a chord progression, and that usually has a feel to it. And like that Toledo song, it felt like a movement, driving, getting moved, like just a road song.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, where do I drive? And it'd be fun to write a song about heading down south.
Yeah.
And then you start to think about all things down south. What's the first thing you feel when you makes you feel like you're down south? The warm breeze. You gotta feel that warm breeze by the sun, right? You just want to keep going, and it starts to put itself together. But and that's all based on life experiences, and that's typically how my songs kind of come together.
Now you have two kids, a little
do.
girl, both,
Yep,
and a boy. Or-
4-year-old daughter Juniper, and a 2-year-old son Jesse.
So are they
Jesse
inspiration for your songwriting?
Yeah, they are a newfound inspiration for learning music and getting better and getting them involved in music.
Okay.
Ironically, I've always sat down, whenever I try to sit down and write a song about something specific, just out of the blue, it never really feels
You need to
right.
feel something.
Yeah, and I feel a
yeah.
whole, obviously with your kids, you feel a whole lot. And maybe that's why I haven't been able to write the song that fits yet for being a father. My buddy Brandon, who's a drummer in our band, he wrote a song for us. When we were expecting Juniper, that I thought was like a perfect
Aw.
song for new parents and expecting a kid. And I was like, man, I wish I could write a song like that. Yeah, it's not yet, but I'm sure it'll hit me at some point.
So there will be something that you'll experience between the two of you that'll just it'll inspire you. Then yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
that moment just you haven't had that yet.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I've had it, and at some point, it just hasn't aligned with the melody yet.
Right.
That'll happen, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So and you said so you're interested. They're interested in music.
Yeah, yeah. They're both very musical kids. We got a whole basket full of harmonicas and tambourines and shakers, and they both now request songs wherever we go. Sometimes it's Daddy's song,
Aw.
so it's just cool. It makes me feel like a rock star. And other times it's nursery rhyme, and sometimes it's Black Keys. You never know what they're gonna be in the mood for.
Well, it's good that you're exposing them to all the different genres as
Oh, yeah.
well, and get them more interested in
definitely,
stuff. So
definitely.
that's cool. That's cool. Well, good.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, music, definitely, with the left and right brain, the creative parts. And they always say that kids that are involved with music and something really do well in other areas of life too.
Yeah.
So it's good that they're getting into it right at this early age.
I'm excited by the PAM exam.
The PAM
yeah.
exam,
Yeah.
yes. Random questions for
All right.
you. All
Okay,
right, so I'm just
let's
going to
see.
pull them out of here, and you can just, if you can't answer it, don't feel like you have to.
Okay.
All right. I'm really good at blank. I'm really bad at blank.
Okay. I'm. Oh wow. Okay.
I didn't mean to stump you on the first one.
No, that's fine. I want to be humble. Let's see. What's the best?
Let it loose.
Yeah. I'm really good at starting a conversation. Holding, that's how. I think that's a good thing. I'm really bad at ending a conversation. I thought I'd throw a little humor.
Yeah. That's funny. Can you just go up to a stranger and just start talking and stuff? Is that how you met your wife?
Yeah, actually, kind of. She wasn't a stranger; though. She was a friend of a friend. But obviously, it was love at first sight for her, and then.
But not for you, you're
no,
saying?
just joking. I think she's watching.
Okay, I just met this guy, so I don't know his humor is not quite.
Just joking. No. Yeah, but holding the conversation was that was part of that.
How long you been married now?
Is that part of the PAM exam?
No,
Let's see,
I was just curious.
No, 2011, so 8 years.
8 years, very good, cool. All right, your favorite food and beverage of choice.
Okay, so favorite food changes pretty much daily, but what I eat the most is pizza, pepperoni pizza. So I would have to say that probably if by my record, by my
The default is always the
default,
pizza.
Yeah, that's what I have to say because if I say anything else, and I don't feel right. And what was the other part?
Beverage of choice.
Beverage of choice. So depends on what time of day. So if the sun's out, then it's We talked about tea. Drink
Tea.
a lot of licorice, tea. If the sun's down, then I'm a whiskey guy. So I drink a little whiskey.
Okay. I can see you as a whiskey guy.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. Is there a song or person or an event that inspired you to go into the music business? And we kind of touched on that one earlier, but in particular.
Song or person or event. Um, it's not specifically. Yeah, it's kind of been a culmination. I used to dream when I was a kid about performing. So when people ask me what I want to be when I grew up, it was always a singer and a basketball player.
You are
So,
tall.
Yeah. So yeah, but and 1 for 2, take that. But I've always wanted to perform, so I don't think there was ever one event. When you grow up in the '90s and you grow up in a household like I did, you heard a lot of Stevie Wonder, a lot of Temptations, a lot of Michael Jackson, and all those are influential. And I don't know. Actually, I can tell you. I can tell you a moment where I realized that I should look into playing an instrument more closely and
Okay.
rock more closely. Now, this is like insight. I don't know if I've ever told anybody this story. So I was 16 or 17 and was all about R&B and hip hop. Didn't care to even listen to anything not in one of those two categories. MTV was a big part of everybody's life back then. So I was watching MTV, and they had a spring break concert, where it's a bunch of, kids my age all outside in California, loving life, living life to the full. And there was a band I never heard of get up there and just kill it. And the band was No Doubt, which is Gwen Stefani's band, and I'd never heard of them before. And I was, they were just putting on a show, and it was the first album. I don't remember what song they were playing that song, Just a Girl, and I was watching the bass player doing his thing, and guitar player just jamming. I was like, man, that looks really cool, really fun. And that moment kind of sticks out to me as a moment that is was a big influence. And then right after them, Kid Rock played. He's from Detroit.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I need to look into this rock
There might be
stuff.
something to
They're
this.
having a lot
History.
of fun, and they're playing instruments, and it sounds pretty good. And it actually sounds a little bit like hip hop a little bit. And so that really kind of adjusted my musical interests for myself personally. From that
Very
point.
cool. That's a great story. You just never know.
Never know.
Your favorite Detroit area festival?
So I have a new answer for that as of last month.
Oh, okay.
Because traditionally we've played Arts Beats and Eats, which is a great festival. Love it. It's right by my house. And tons of music and tons of good food, and there's always a good crowd there for music and tons of good acts, all different genres. So I give them honorable mention because I really appreciate playing there, and I still want to play there again. But Dally in the Alley this past September was the most fun festival I've ever been to.
It is
Perform,
a fun,
The amount of people there was mind-boggling, and the fact that it's in Detroit, it's just in the middle of a neighborhood, and they really do a good job of bringing in a good assortment of acts on just a couple of stages, and the people that I as we were heading down there, I told my wife, this is what Detroit is about now. All these different types of people.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you take a sampling of 10 people, and every person was different.
And it's getting bigger and bigger every year, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't know how it can get much bigger than this year, just from a control standpoint. I'm not a security expert, but there was a lot of people there, and for our stage when we played, that was the biggest show I've ever played in, personally.
Yeah.
So that's my new favorite.
Do you have a ritual before a performance?
Yeah, so it used to be Twizzlers. I used to eat a pack of Twizzlers before every
Okay.
show.
Jumbo pack or regular pack?
A regular pack
Okay.
of Twizzlers. And then for some reason, someone told me Twizzlers aren't real licorice. And I thought, oh, well, I'm kind of just wasting
Not?
my time. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't do any research on that. I just took their word for it. But I thought it was helping me, and because licorice is supposed to help your
Well,
throat,
maybe did you go for the red then?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you need to go for the black.
But yeah, I'm not. I don't like
The black licorice, you don't like that one?
Nah, I mean, not. Yeah,
It is an acquired taste.
It is. It is. So that used to be my thing, but now it's yeah. Don't really have every
Okay.
show ritual. I don't think.
Well, someone ruined it for you. What do you think of when you hear the word success?
Success. So probably not what most people would think, but being a father now, to me, success is solely rests on my kids feeling secure and comfortable and having an opportunity. I could scrub floors for the rest of my life, and that if they end up as adults that are well-rounded and contribute, to the world, then I did my job. That's a success for me. So,
Nice.
that's really that's what comes to mind.
Nice. Sound like a good dad too.
I hope so.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Lions, Tigers, Pistons, or Red Wings?
Well, so I have. I hate to say this publicly, but I've been Lions free now for 4 years. I still watch their games, but I am, and I do want them to succeed, but I don't invest in them emotionally anymore. So I got knocks them out.
Because it takes a lot of emotion out of us.
It does, and that's nothing against the players or the effort or anything. I know if any of them are watching or see this, keep trying, But
They keep trying.
yeah, Tigers were my first love, so I'm going to say Tigers.
Yeah. I think they've already started selling next season's tickets already.
Yeah,
for
they
it,
need
so-
to start selling them early. So
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. I'll just kind of jump through this. Any special holiday traditions?
no,
Okay.
No,
Sometimes when
it's-
you have kids, you start doing new things.
no.
But okay. How about if time and money didn't matter, what would you be doing?
If time and money didn't matter, so I'd have a lot more instruments than I already have, and I'd be trying to learn them all, to play them all. That's probably it's kind of a lighthearted answer.
Well, you play guitar and harmonica. Anything else that you play at this point?
Not well. I can hold my own on a couple of songs on piano, and I can, the kazoo is
And the
up there.
triangle.
Triangle, yeah. Very accomplished triangle player.
That's important.
Yeah.
If you had a half day or full day to kill in Metro Detroit, what would you do?
In Metro Detroit, half day or full day. So I know it's on my list for next year, which I haven't done since I was, I think, probably in third grade. Is Greenfield Village.
Oh,
I want to go.
Great
it's
place.
that whole Greenfield Village, Henry Ford Museum, over there. There's a lot of info there. There's a lot of
Yeah.
cool stuff, if I remember correctly, and I just want to get back and check it out. So if I had just a half day, and then the other half of the day, I'd just come downtown and check out all the new restaurants and shops, because we come down here occasionally, and it's just it's so different than what it was when I lived down here about 10 years ago. And I want to do my part to support all these new businesses,
Yeah.
so it stays this way. So that's probably how I would spend the rest of my day.
okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And I bring my credit card to buy some stuff.
Gotta have that. Okay, answer this. Fill in the blank. I wish I could.
I wish I could solo on my acoustic guitar, or any guitar. I would need to learn.
What do you mean solo? I mean, you.
I watched videos of Hendrix and
Oh, okay.
other blues guys, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, okay. Go into a solo and,
Yeah.
and just kill it on the guitar, is what
yeah.
you're saying.
Just,
Okay.
just
Okay.
mesmerize people with my guitar playing skills,
Yeah.
which I can't currently do.
Practice, practice,
Yeah,
practice.
I've been practicing. Maybe someday I'll surprise everybody with a mind blowing guitar solo on one of these gigs, but hasn't happened yet.
Just stop the band. Hold it, hold it, hold it.
Yeah.
And just go into it.
Nice 20-minute interlude.
And they're all like, where'd this
Yeah.
come from? Yeah. All right, one last question for you.
Sure.
If you could have any one person in your band, and they are dead or alive at this point, doesn't matter, who would that be or collaborate with?
Okay, so collaborate with.
Or have in your band, either or.
So there's so many options.
Well, you've had
Pick
so
one.
many influences
Yeah.
in all the different genres.
Yeah.
That might be a tough question for you.
It's not an impossible question. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think if one of the people that come to mind first would be Prince, and that's because of what I've learned about his. I wasn't a big Prince fan in the 80s and 90s, but the more I've learned about his personality and his approach towards music and performing, the more I realize that there's at least our brains kind of work the same way. And I've heard stories of him going to a club at 2 a.m. and playing till the sun came up unannounced. And that's the sort of stuff that just means he loved music and loved performing and loved sharing. And that's the kind of vibe I feel like I have and I hope I have. And so, but I like to learn from him, and see where it would have went.
Interesting. Yeah, he'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm anxious because I think I just heard there's some unreleased things they found
Yeah.
they're going to be releasing and stuff. Should be good.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Yeah.
All right. How about another song for us?
Sure.
Okay.
So I teased it earlier, and I think I'm going to go ahead and play this song with the harmonica.
Okay. Yeah, I mentioned he
grab
plays a harmonica, so he's going to reach over and grab this harmonica. And
Yeah.
I think he was saying earlier, off camera, he was saying he's never played this.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
So we're
So see
in
how
a
it
treat
goes.
for a
Yeah.
treat here.
Yeah. I did practice it, so we'll
Okay.
see.
Oh, that's good.
But it's I've tried to write all different genres, and this one's a little bit more of an old time kind of country song,
Okay.
and that's why I don't get a chance to play it too often because it's it doesn't quite fit in the rest of the set list. But it's called Sunday Blues, and about my experience where everybody has where Sunday evening, nobody feels good on Sunday evening, no matter what what's on TV, no matter what you ate, you can't shake those Sunday blues. It's because of what's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Monday.
Perfect.
So this song is about that, kind of playing the style of like a Hank Williams or that sort of stuff, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Now Monday morning's tough is to get going, and Tuesday always quickly passes by. When you hit Wednesday even, you're halfway to the weekend. So you started early on a Thursday night.
Now I can't find a better earthly feeling when you head out and the working week is done. 'Cause it goes without saying that Fridays are for playing and Saturdays were meant for having fun. Now it always seems to hit me Sunday evening. I start to feel the deepest shade of blue. 'Cause when you go to bed, unless you wake up dead, that old Monday morning's waiting for you.
I like that.
All right.
That's a hit there. Yeah, that's definitely a good song. I mean, people
Thank
can
you.
relate to it, which, is what makes a lot of hits, because
yeah.
when people can relate, that's definitely something they can relate to. So, good stuff.
Thanks.
And now, the first time,
Oh yeah, now it's out there.
it's out there.
I play a little country, guys.
No, it sounded good. You could hear that little bit of Hank in the background there.
yeah.
Yeah, another
Good.
influence of yours. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for coming in and
Appreciate
sitting
it.
down and talking with us.
It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it, and thanks for what you're doing.
Yeah, oh,
this
absolutely.
is really cool to see all the different, performers and talent in Southeast Michigan.
Yes. I mean, the good thing is I'll never run out of people to put in here. There's so many around
True.
here. So
Very true.
that's the one thing. But make sure everybody knows how they can find you, where you're playing
Sure.
and all that. So,
Yeah, so keep my calendar up on my website, jibsbrown.com, JIBS1B. I get a lot of double B's
think about
sometimes. So JIBSbrown.com, and social media, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I post all my shows up there. And,
okay.
Tomorrow at Roke in Royal Oak at 7 o'clock. That's where I'll be. And venues all across the city.
Do you post when you'll be solo or the three-piece or the full band? Did you usually put that up there too, so
Try
people
to,
know?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly with the band, it's a big deal when we play. So
Yeah.
try to promote those
I bet
events.
that would. I'm going to have to check that out when you guys are probably at a festival or something again,
yeah.
and when you
Yeah,
have the full band. I bet that's a lot of fun with you guys. So, yeah,
we
some
try to
good
make
music.
it fun.
Yeah, of course. Well, again, thank you so much for coming in. Do appreciate that, Jeremy Jibs Brown.
Appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
great stuff. And thanks to all of you out there for watching another episode of Behind the Mic in our beautiful MusicTown studios here on the second floor of Hockeytown in downtown Detroit. And until next time, I'm Pam Rossi. Have a great week.